Hi, my name is Mandy and I'm with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is Database Overview. If you are watching this back on recording on our YouTube channel, please reach out to us if you have any questions at support@scottleroymarketing.com. If you're watching here live during our class, please drop your questions in the chat. If I don't get to answer them while I'm teaching, no worries. I'll stay a couple of extra minutes after class to get those answered for you. Okay. And all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. As you can see on my screen, I'm already logged into Command, and today we are going to go over your database. This is also coined like Command Database, Command Contacts. This little tab over here on the top left, on the left-hand side, is your Contacts tab. These used to be called applets, so if you ever hear it referred to as your Contacts applet, this is the same thing. So throughout class today, you may hear me say database, command, command contacts, the contacts tab. All of those are referring right here to this little tab. If you're not familiar with the icons just yet, you can always click the red square at the top. It'll pop out the name for you and you can see contacts right here. Okay, so we're going to jump into that today in detail. I'm going to show you how to navigate that. Also going to go over how to actually import your contacts as well. If you'll give me just a second, it looks like we have a bot in our midst. Give me just a second. We just need to get that out. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. We don't actually, we record our own classes, and so we don't allow other folks to actually record that material. So just had to get the robot out. Oh, looks like we got two today. Give me just, oh, three. Just a second, guys. All right. That should be all of them. Let me scan really quick. All right, great. Good deal. Okay, back to the scheduled programming. So we're going to show you how to get your contacts into your command today, whether you're using a custom document or the actual template that's provided to you through command. I want to show you your command contacts tab, how to navigate it, everything it offers you as features. And then first, to start out with, I want to show you the back office to your command. There's a little bit of settings back there, not super important. You probably won't use them very often, but I want you to know that they're there. So let's start out first by going to the top right-hand side of your screen here. You can see where the name appears. Let me zoom in so it's a little bit bigger for you. Right here where your name would be, you can see settings in that drop-down menu. If you give that a click, this is taking you to essentially the back office of your command. So as you can see here, it comes right to your integrations page where other apps integrate with your command. On the left-hand side, you'll see command settings. This is where we want to stay today a little bit. And you see contacts tab. So I'll just click that, or contacts menu. Let me correct myself. Contacts tab over here on the left. And this is your contacts menu. Yolanda, thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. Let me go grab that bot, guys. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the heads up. I do not want them spamming you guys in the chat at all. All right. Thank you for keeping an eye out for that. Okay, so over here under command settings, we clicked on contacts, and we're going to briefly cover the little things that popped up underneath that. The first is your contact archive. Now, if you have contacts in command and you actually want to delete them, it's a two-step process in command. First is to archive them. It will move the contact back here into the archive. It disconnects any auto marketing that you may have already started, like smart plans or campaigns. It will remove that contact from those things and it will put the contact back here. Then you have the choice to delete it from here if you would like, or even restore it. So you'll see on your screen, we have a couple of samples back here in our archive. Typical command fashion, you have a search bar usually over to your left, and then you'll see action buttons over to your right, typically in a lot of your tabs here within command. It's the same way right here. You can search through your archives. You can also sort through the filters on the headers if you need to, or sort, excuse me, not filters, but you can sort through the headers and adjust them maybe alphabetically by first name or last name if you're searching for someone. And then over here on the right, you can see where you can restore an individual contact or permanently delete it. Just know there's no undo button to that delete. Okay, that's why this is a two-step process. It's trying to make sure that you're retaining all the data you can. Then you can also choose more than one. This is your select all square right here in the header. You can select all and notice that restore selected comes up on your top right, or you can delete selected permanently. You also can get that same action if you just individually choose. Maybe there's just a few here that you want to select. You'll notice you get the option to restore or delete there as well. Okay. Moving on to your database wipe. Now, this is the delete option as well, but this is for your entire database, guys. Now, if you're on a team, it may be grayed out. It's due to your permissions on that team, so that's okay. It's just a fail safe in place. Speak to your rainmaker if you need to accomplish this task. But there are buttons here to archive all contacts. It will literally take all of your contacts out of your contact tab and move them into the contact archive that we were just viewing. Okay. Next button, delete all archived contacts. It will wipe your database clean. This will permanently delete all of your archived contacts. No undo button, guys. Be very careful with this. I'll show you today how to export a copy of your contacts out of your database. Highly recommend doing that prior to doing any editing, any archiving, any deleting of your contacts. It's just a way to get that backup copy on a file somewhere on your device so that you have it just in case you ever need it again. Data is so precious, right? So moving on to the next tab or topic, it is contact tags. Now, this is the way that you would organize your contacts in your command. Think of it as labels, things like that. If you had, back in the day, we had file folders and filing cabinets and labels that you could tag things with. Well, this is exactly what that is. It's just a digital version. So you can add multiple tags to contacts. They don't just have to have one. And this is the way you would go into your contact database and be able to search for maybe like all your buyers, all your sellers, all your family, all the other agents, all your hot leads, whatever you would like to tag it. If you can think of a way of organizing your database or a way that you would want to reference someone or a group of people, make a tag for it. This is just back here all of your tags in one little spot where you can come back here and choose the pencil to edit or the trash can to delete. Notice search bar again, action button in the top right where you can create tags. This looks different again if you are on a team. Specifically for individual agents, this is what your screen should look like. Okay. You'll also notice that created by is an option. There will be tags that you created, but also that the system created as well. If I come down here, let's see if we can view up to 100. See if I can get it to shift and show me a system tag. There we go. So there's some system tags back here. Notice that the pencil and the trash can are grayed out. You can't edit or delete those. They're already set as a default in command. You don't have to use them. You just can't edit them. Okay. But you can edit and delete and create as many as you would like. More than likely, you will never use this space back here. I'm going to show you how to do this all from within your Command Contacts tab. You'll be able to create tags, remove tags, add tags. You'll be able to do all of that right here within your Contact tab. Again, just want you to see some settings back here in the back office. Next is lead management. Now, this is pretty cool. You can actually set up lead rules that allow you to auto tag your contacts and even automatically assign them to smart plans. If you're not familiar with smart plans, it's kind of like a drip campaign where you can nurture your contacts. Like it might send out an email for you one day, it'll wait a week, maybe send out another email, maybe give you a reminder to give them a call, do a handwritten note. You can actually set up tasks for yourself in your business if you would like to set up a smart plan for yourself. They can actually send out birthday announcements or actually remind you to send a handwritten note as a birthday, home anniversary. There's even a way to do a monthly neighborhood nurture where it would monthly email that contact market stats based on that neighborhood and it updates automatically. It's very hands off for you, huge leverage for your business. So if you haven't jumped into Smart Plans yet, please go and check out our Smart Plans overview class or email us and we'll be happy to share some information with you if we partner with your market center. Okay. So right here, lead management again, you can come in here, create a new rule. You can name it whatever you would like. We'll just make it test really quick. You can come here and choose a lead source. Now, where are these leads coming from? You can come in here and choose the place you would actually like them to come in from. And whenever a lead comes from that area, then we're going to tell it what to tag it and what smart plan to get it started on. So you can come down here, I'm just looking for the KW agent site. Let's say the app site, okay, real quick, just to make it quick. So if we have a lead that comes in from our KW consumer mobile app, then we actually want it to auto tag a specific tag. So you can say, maybe you want a lead tag. Maybe you want it to say KW app. So if you ever want to pull up all the people from your KW app, you can do that by tag. There's also another way to do that through your filters, and I'll show you that today. But look, we don't have a tag that says KW app just yet. So I even have the option to create that custom tag right here. I'll go ahead and do that. That's what I want it to be called. Let's make it purple just because and add it. So that you can add as many auto tags as you would like. You can even assign to a smart plan. If you click this, it's going to show you all of your smart plans that you have in your smart plan library. You can choose whichever one you would like. Maybe you have an introduction smart plan that you want to go out. So it would reach out to that lead immediately once they put their information into your app. And that way they've got the introduction. Maybe you give them some free resources and let them know you'll be in touch soon. Something like that. So you can come in here and check that smart plan, whichever one you'd like to choose, and set that up here and create the rule for yourself. The system will be automated now for you to automatically do that without you having to do it every time. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel out and move to the next topic, lead sources. This is just the one source that each contact has that says where you got that lead from, where you met that person, where they came from, right? So each contact will have a lead source on it. This is just your bank of lead sources back here. You can come create a custom source. Maybe there's a certain niche that you have in your market that you might throw like I don't know, client appreciation party, something like that, or something that you volunteer with in your community. And it's a place that actually generates leads for you and helps you meet and network with people. Maybe that's specific to you and you want to create that custom source. So you can do that right back here. Okay. Again, pencil, trash can. If it's a pencil, you can edit. If it's a trash can, you can delete it. These were created by the system. So that's why they're grayed out on us again. You're seeing the pattern here with the way the command is set up. And you can also just continue to go on to see yours down here. And then the pencil and trash can are right there. Brandon, are the smart plans sent via email only unless we subscribe to Twilio? Fabulous question, Brandon. Within a smart plan, you have the ability to send an email, which will do that, which it will do through command. And then you also have the ability to create a task for you, and it could be a task to like to add a handwritten note, or you even have a call task plan where it can give you a task to make a call to that person. There is a way to send texting through a smart plan using Twilio, but if you do not have a Twilio account, then it will just create a task for you to text that person manually through your own device. And trying to think off the top of my head what else it'll do. That's about it. So task, text, and an email, and then a call task to remind you. Okay. Just let me know if you have any other questions. You're welcome, Brandon. No problem. Oh, and if you don't have Twilio, I think I said that. If you don't have Twilio and you do a smart plan to send a text, it will just create a task for you to send it manually. Okay, fabulous. Moving on. Lead sources, and thank you guys for your questions. That's great. So lead sources, just covered it. Not super important, but each contact does have a lead source. You can also create these as tags if you would like, and that way you can filter through your contacts even more. Database cleanup. Here's a newer feature within contacts. So this is actually going to help you identify duplicates within your system. The command system will go through and try to find matching names, matching emails, and matching phone numbers. Now, it does prevent you from adding the same email in a primary email that another contact would already be using as their primary email. However, there's a field, and I'll show you this soon in detail. There's a field called additional information on your contact profiles. You can add up to, as many emails as you want to that one person. So the system will actually sort through all of those and try to match your duplicates for you. If you ever come back here, you can say check for duplicates. It will give you a little banner saying this can take up to a few minutes. Once it's done, you'll notice you'll get a notification up here at the top. Let me hit refresh. You'll get a notification right here. Notice it went to 66 and it'll say database scan complete. They found 24 pairs of potential duplicates. I can click this hyperlink right here. It's going to take me to that same screen I just went to. Okay. So you can use this hyperlink for convenience, or it's going to look just like this, and you can always reach it back here in your settings and command. Okay. From here, you can actually choose to ignore it. Maybe you do know two Bob Smiths and they just happen to have the same names but different contact information. Then you can click ignore right here and it will not see them as duplicates anymore. Or what if it is the same person and you now want to take those two contact profiles and make them one? Well, you can do that by hitting the merge button right here. It will show you the two contacts and you get to pick which one you keep and which one will actually quote unquote merge into the other one, meaning you will lose this one and it'll merge the information into this contact. Now, the fields do vary. Some of them are like with tags and notes, it will keep all the tags from both contacts and all the notes from both contacts. But when it comes to like these both have an email address and it's primary, so if it since they're different emails, this one would stay primary and this one would be added to additional information on the profile, depending if I chose this one as my primary. And it lets you know that. Keep this one, merge this one when you choose it, or you can click on this one and switch it. Notice that arrow changes. This information would be moved into this contact profile. It does get very detailed depending on what field of information it is. So if you have any questions about that, let us know and we can go through all of that with you. Um, but you can choose which one to merge it into. Now, you will see some different if they are connected to a smart plan, if they're already on a campaign, something like that. You will get a notification right here letting you know this one has active connections and you cannot merge it. You can merge a contact into it, but you can't lose that one, right? It's not going to let you disconnect any of your auto marketing that you may already have set up. Okay. So it does have fail safes in place to help protect the things that you've already set up in here. All right, we're going to hit cancel on that and move on to custom fields. Now, there are already fields within your contact profile, and I'm going to show you those. Those are things like birthday, home anniversary, email, address, name, phone number, tags, things like that, right? Those are all standard for all contacts that you have in your contact database. However, you can add custom fields. Again, let's go back to your niche in your market. Maybe there's a piece of information that you like to collect about all of your contacts. Maybe children's names. Maybe like it already has kids' names, maybe the price point you want to actually have in a field so that you can look through that. Area of interest, favorite pie. A lot of agents do favorite pie or a pie giveaway. So maybe you want to know which pie they would like to choose. So you can come right up here and create a custom field. Just name it whatever you want. Since I already have favorite pie, it won't let me get too far on this, but let's just do that for ease today. And custom field type. See, it's letting me know I already have that done, but that's okay. We're going to move forward. So right here, I can actually, or let me just add a number. There we go. So you can choose the type of field it is. Maybe you just want a text field where you can type whatever you want. Maybe you want it to be a drop down menu since for your pie giveaway, maybe you're only doing two different types of pies. So you can create the drop down options. One might be cherry, one might be pecan, and that is the proper way to say that. If anybody else just spoke up and said that it should be pecan, it's pecan. And you can create as many drop down fields as you would like. I'm going to X that out. And you can adjust this as you would like. You can also make it a default, which would mean this custom field is going to be on every single contact you have in your command database. Okay. It would be available right there where you can edit it from your contacts tab over here. If you do not make it a default, that's okay. This field will not appear on your contact profile, but you can easily add it over here in the contact profile, and I'll show you how to do that, okay? You can add it at any time if you don't want it to be a default on every single contact you have. You would create right here, we're gonna choose cancel. Notice again, search field left, action button on your right, and the pencils for editing and the trash cans for deleting. Okay. And you can come in here, search and select all and get the delete all the custom fields or edit all the custom fields. So very similar template as we've seen before. that is it underneath our contacts topic right here. I want to scroll down and show you one more thing right here, and that's your logs. When you import and export out of command, it logs those right here. So you can click imports, and from your my log right here, this is showing you all the imports you've done, the status of them, the date you started, the date you completed, because if you're working with a larger file, sometimes it does take a little bit of time. And you can actually say to view up to 100 per this page. Notice we have 62 here. You can flip back and forth if you had different pages of it. Let me scroll down a little bit because I want to be able to scroll over. So let me change this back to 10. I'm going to scroll over so you can see the other options. I got my screen zoomed in too much, but I want you to see this. So you can see contacts imported, how many of those failed to import, and then the total number of contacts that were actually on that file. Now, the system has fail safes in place to try to help you not create duplicates. So if it has a contact that has the same primary email or the same primary phone number on file, it will fail to import that contact. Okay. And so this is letting you know how many were successful going into your database and how many actually failed out. Over here on the right, you'll notice you can have the access to the original file that you imported. And if I go over even further, there's an error file. This is your failed import log. Let me try to see if I can find one for you to show you. There we go. So this is a failed import log right here. It will save to your downloads however you have your set up. And then within that file, it will actually show you why those leads failed to import. And actually just thought about, I'm not going to open that on screen for protection of data for whoever contacts or whatever contacts are in that particular file. But when you look at this file over to the far right, it will give you a reason beside every single contact of why they failed to import so that you can go back and get that corrected and then try to import them again. Okay, so this is all right back here. Exports looks similar. You see the file that you downloaded that from that export, you see how many contacts were actually in that export, when it was done, the status, that kind of thing. Okay. And that is it for your settings back here in Command. So let's go ahead and jump into your Contacts tab now, right out here. Just to show you where we're maneuvering, you can click right onto Contacts if you'd like, or I can just click Home. It will take us out of Settings. You should be familiar with this dashboard right here. And then from here, you can click on Contacts. I could have gone straight to Contacts. I just want to help orient you as I move across on my screen where we're going. So let's go ahead and click the Contacts tab. Again, remember that red square if you need the name. And here's our Contacts tab. So in here, you'll notice that this should say your name. If you are on a team, meaning if I click on my name over here and I have a team profile that I'm on, you just want to make sure that you're on your personal contacts as we're going through this today. Team contacts are a little bit different. Depending on your permissions on that team, things might or might not work. You might not see some features, things like that. So as today's demonstration, this is for an individual agent's demonstration. Okay, so notice again, right here on the left-hand side, we're seeing that search option, right? So bear with me just 1 second. Let me add that back. Okay, there we go. And so sorry, this is throwing me because it's we have a default setup and it was supposed to say something else. So anyway, here we go. So right here underneath contacts, you can see that you can search by name, last name, email, address, or everything. Highly recommend keeping it on everything because Command will pull apart every little piece of information on this contact tab to find it. Maybe even if you're looking for like the last four of someone's phone number or something like that, you can only remember a piece of their information. You can put it right here, and as long as everything is selected, then it will actually be able to pull up that contact for you. Okay. We have filters where we can sort through these contacts and look for different options. I'm going to jump into these big time for you in just a second. To the right of that is your smart view. This means if you come in here, set up some filters, let's say you're looking for your hot leads that you need to have that real estate conversation with, which you can see that right here beside this particular contact. If they have this L, if they're marked as a lead, that means you need to have that real estate conversation with them. You need to make that connection, right? So you can go ahead and filter, find your leads. Maybe you want to see who has been active on your app. Maybe you want to see who doesn't even have your app yet and you need to get them signed up. There's different things you can filter through to find, but you've gone ahead, set up your filters, and you're looking at your contacts that you want to see. Maybe you want to see it every time you log into Command. Well, you can come right here to a Smart View and create that Smart View right here. Click Smart View and say, this is going to be my daily default. So, and these are hot leads, whatever you want to call them, and you can set it as your Smart View default right here and save Smart View. If you don't want it to be your default, meaning you don't want to see these sets of contacts every single time you log into Command, no matter what device you're on, then maybe you don't want it to be a default. You just want it to be a type of Smart View so that every time you come into Command, instead of sifting through all the filters, you can just come right here and view the smart views you've created just to be able to click on them quickly and go right to them. Okay. So you can do that here, set those smart views up. So go back to our class. Just a second. There's our right class. And so from here, over on the right, you'll notice we have action buttons. We have import, we have add a contact, and then we have 3 dots. Right here, the import, this is if you import more than one contact. Going to jump into this in just a second for you, or you can add one contact at a time. This would be the option. Let me go ahead and open it for you, show you that it shows you all the blank fields that you can fill out. We're going to go through this in detail with a contact in just a moment, and I'll show you how to fill all this information out. But that's if you want to add one contact at a time. And your ellipses actually give you options now for checking for those duplicates. Instead of going back to your settings, you can do it from right here. You can export all your own contacts. This is what I was talking about, making sure you do prior to getting in here and like deleting or archiving, whatever you're looking to do in your database. If you are removing data, you just may want to go ahead and export a copy of it. That way it will download onto your computer or your device as an Excel document. It's called a CSV, just means comma separated value. It's the type of Excel sheet that it is, and it will be a backup for you in case you lose or accidentally delete any data. Okay. Your other 2 options here are for mailing labels. You can actually print out or export a mailing label in CSV form. It'll be in a spreadsheet form. That way you can go in and edit it, adjust it. It's just a little bit of a different way of being able to view the data on a table versus right here in PDF form. It will actually look just like you would think a mailing label would. It's that stacked format with the name, then a street address underneath, and then the city and state underneath that. Okay, so just a different way of whichever way you want to see them. We do have a tip video on our YouTube channel on how to be able to export and print those mailing labels. Highly recommend checking that out. There's also one on how to fix the most common errors or issues that you see with mailing labels. Okay, and so that is your options underneath the 3 dots. Coming down here to our table here, you'll notice again, we have our header, and when I hover over that, it does give me options. I can sort by first name A through Z. You can just sort them however you would like. Over to the right, these columns we can actually change. Maybe you want to see a different piece of information instead of when they were last active, last contacted, and their tags. You can do that right here with customize columns. On the left-hand side, I can choose the topic that I want to see. These are going to be your columns, and you can choose which ones you do or do not want to see. Maybe I don't want to see when they were last updated. Maybe I don't need to see their primary email from right here. Maybe I just want to see the phone number. And then over on the right hand side is the order of those columns. Maybe I would like to see their tags first, or maybe I'm sitting here lead genning every day. And if I want to lead generate, I want to see that phone number first for a quick glance. So I'm going to put that column first, and then you can hit apply right here. and that will adjust those columns. If you don't see them all adjust, you can always hit that refresh button at the top and it should save what we just did. Should save what we just did. But again, you can hit that refresh button and customize your columns right here. Gonna try it again. It's because I didn't save my Smart View changes. Remember, that's my default. So every time I look in Command, that's the view I'm going to see. So since I just changed that, now I can hit refresh and my columns will stay the same since that's my default Smart View. There we go. Now it's saving my columns. And so now you can change the order of those if you would like. The next option is to see this as a list or a table. This is list view. This is table view. Notice it takes away your headers. There's less sorting. It's it's to each his own, however you would like this to be set up. If you're working with a larger database and you're looking to be in here and quick glance at information, sometimes this is a little easier. It's the one we prefer. But again, make this what you want. And when you make that change, if you wanted to change that, just remember to change your Smart View as well. Save those changes, okay? That way it'll look that same way each time you go to that Smart View, okay? And over here, you can see how many contacts you're actually viewing on this one page. You can view up to 500 per page. Highly recommend keeping it set to that if you're working with a larger database, more than 500, because you have a bulk action menu that's hidden right here in this area. So if I were to choose a contact, notice it populates. If I were to choose my select all, it would select up to as many contacts as I have per page. So if you have it over here adjusted to 500 contacts, when I select all, I can choose all 500 contacts at a time, okay? Or again, you can just click beside whichever ones you want to use. But you'll notice that that bulk action menu comes up and you can do many things from this bulk action menu right here. You can add an activity, right? Maybe you had a meeting with that person, ran into them at the grocery store, you sent them a text message. Whatever activity you need to add to that contact, you can do it here and you can do it in bulk. So again, you're going to have the option to do this as an individual, but this is just where I wanted to show you how to do it in bulk. Maybe you saw several agents at an open house. Well, then you can come right here, filter till you see your agents, select them, and from the bulk action menu, come and add that activity. If I choose add activity, it gives me the option to add the different interaction types right here: meeting, call, email, text, note, or snail mail. And you can choose the date that it occurred and even write a little description. If I were to hit add activity, which let's just do that real quick, and I'll show you that now, see how it says added to your contacts. If I were to go view that contact profile, which when you click on their name, this is the actual contact profile that is opening right here. Notice in my timeline right here, that meeting would show up now in that timeline. So that's adding an activity. Okay. We'll jump in here in just a second. Let's go back to contacts. And again, select them so you can see your bulk action menu. You can add a note. You can even add tags. Remember, I told you you could add tags from right here. Maybe let's just make a completely weird tag that doesn't make sense. So if I were to, excuse me, if I wanted to add a tag that was not already created, I could type it in here. It's not showing in the list. And so I can create that tag again from right here. Pick the color you'd want it to be and create a tag if you would like. Okay, let's go back. Let's say I already have the tags. They're all listed right here. I search through them. You can search by word. Maybe just scrolling, I can just go ahead and select as many as I want. Okay, and notice it tells you how many you have selected. Okay, and then you can actually hit submit and it would add all of those tags to the contacts that you have selected right here. Okay, you can do that as many times as you need, add as many tags as you would like right here on the bulk action menu. Even though add tags is right here, you can come down to the bottom and see remove tags as well. Looks the same format. You can select as many tags as you would like to be removed from those contacts and hit remove selected. Okay. Coming back to the bulk action menu, you can add to an email list. This is helpful with your campaigns. You can add them to a smart plan in bulk, up to 500 at a time. Super helpful. That's the archive option that would move them back to your contact archive. we covered at the beginning. Change account. This is for people that are on a team and would like to move their contacts off and out of their personal profile and move them onto their team profile. This is where you would do that. And you can export a copy. Now, the export options up here that were at the top right, that was for all owned contacts, which means all the contacts within your database right here. But this export option is for only the ones that you have selected. Maybe you filtered to a particular group and you just want to export a copy of that particular group, right? So this would be the export option you would use for that. You can also export mailing labels. That's as the CSV file, the spreadsheet that we talked about. And this is export mailing labels as a PDF, just again for the select group that you have selected. Next is mark as a lead. Remember, we talked about this little L right here. That would mark those contacts as a lead, just as a verbal or visual indicator to you that you need to have that real estate conversation with them. So you can, let me scroll back down, you can mark them as a lead or even unmark them as a lead within this list here. Next is remove tags. We covered that. Notice the merge option is not here just yet because I didn't choose two contacts to merge. Okay, so that's why it's grayed out. If I had chosen two to merge, it would let me do the merge right here from within my contacts tab instead of going all the way back to the settings. You can also send a text message if you had Twilio set up from right here, and you can also share a copy of this contact data. Now, that is like you literally just telling somebody a phone number, then putting it in their device. You would no longer see whatever contact that person had with this contact. Does that make sense? So if you shared this contact information with a colleague of yours, as a referral or whatever it is that you're wanting to give them the contact information for, you would not see the activity from that other person show up in your timeline. It's completely separate contact information. You're just giving away that data. You're not being able to track it if you're giving them a copy of it. Okay. All right. So that covers our bulk action menu right there. Let me jump into a contact right here. I want to show you what's offered there, show you how to edit the fields, and then from there we will jump into imports and how to do that in detail as well as our filters up here. Okay, so if you were to click on this person's name or right here, the three ellipses over to the far right, you do have a short menu option right here, which will let you choose edit. Notice these are the same things you were seeing on that bulk action menu. You would just be doing them for this one individual agent, one individual contact, excuse me. You can do that, but you can also do that right here within the contact profile. So let's go ahead and open the contact profile by clicking on the name. On the left-hand side, you will see all the fields of data for this particular contact. You see their name, whether they're marked as a lead or not. You can see when they were last contacted, the contact health score based on how much data you actually have for this particular contact. Right here is where you can mark them as a lead or unmark them as a lead. If I want to unmark them, the little L will go away. If I want to mark them, the little L appears, okay? And then you'll see the tags that are on this contact along with their primary phone and the primary email that you have on file for them. You'll notice a pencil right here to edit and three ellipses for more information. The three ellipses does give you some options to add to a smart plan, change account, remember if you're on a team, resubscribe. This does not mean that this person has unsubscribed. This option will be for every single contact you have in here. In fact, if we were to go ahead and click resubscribe, it asks you to verify that you have permission from this contact to resubscribe them. And you can hit send resubscribe email now, and you will get a red banner saying they have not unsubscribed, so they can't complete this. Okay. So no worries if you see resubscribe for every single contact, it's supposed to be there. Next is archive. It would move them to that contact archive. Okay. Moving on down a little bit, you'll notice lead source. So wherever we got this lead from would be right here. Account is who owns that particular lead or particular contact. And right here are neighborhoods. Typically, if you have a primary address that's on file for this contact, the neighborhood would pull from that particular address and it would show right here as primary. Now, this particular contact does not have a physical address on file, so there's no primary neighborhood showing. It's okay. You can add one right here. You can click Add Neighborhood, find on map, Just know the search for location is more of like a crossroads search. It's not for a street address, so to speak. So if your person lives on 123 Main Street, you might just want to type in Main Street instead, and it will start pulling up all the main streets in all the cities and states right here. Okay, so you can just pick one. It'll move the little pin right there. You can hold your control button down and begin zooming in. All the areas that you're seeing in green are different neighborhoods. You can hover over them and it'll show you the neighborhood name. You can click on them to choose them. It'll add a purple check mark as well as the name down here at the bottom. Maybe I grabbed one I don't want, so I can just add an X and then hit save. Having these neighborhoods on your contact profile helps you run a monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan. This means where each contact that is on that smart plan would receive a monthly email with market stats concerning the neighborhoods you've added right here. You can even see where it says copy link and preview. I can thumb through right here to the different neighborhoods and actually preview those neighborhood stats right here. It'll show me this neighborhood, all the different information, market snap, any properties for sale in this area, what the locals say, transit and commute time, nearby schools and places, and even other nearby neighborhoods where they can start thumbing through and looking at the different areas. So that was the preview. You can actually copy this link right here and send it to your folks directly if you want. Maybe you could copy this link and put it in a text for them and say, hey, is this something you'd be interested in getting every month? Because I can set that up for you, right? So if you have any questions about neighborhoods, just let us know. Coming on down, you can see the additional contact information, social profiles if you have them, and the about information. Notice we have relationships down here. If you have two contacts or more that live in the same household, stay at the same address, and you want to make sure that you have that relationship set up in here, well, they don't even have to be at the same address. They're just related. I'm sorry. So let me correct myself. If they're related in any way, shape, or form, friends, family, colleagues, coworkers, whatever you want to put, you can add relationships in here and it would actually show somebody else's name in here with them being related to them or connected to them in some way. It would be hyperlinked, so I could just click it and it would take me right over to the other person's contact profile. Relationships helps extremely when you are doing like mailing labels or direct mail campaigns because it will make sure that one piece of marketing goes to that same address instead of sending 5 different pieces of marketing to 5 different people that live at the same address or have the same workplace. Okay. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll notice more information about this contact. This is the timeline showing their activity. Now, if they are signed up for your KW consumer mobile app, or they've created their own login, their consumer login to your KW agent website, well, then you even have Big Brother access to see all the different listings they're viewing, the listings they like. They can request showings to you through your app and through your website. So you would be able to see that Big Brother access over here as well. You can also see smart plan activity, campaign activity, things like that all over here on the right-hand side. You can sort through these however you'd like to and even manually add an activity. If they're linked to an opportunity, you would see it here and can create a new opportunity as well. Smart plans, you can add them to a smart plan directly from here. If it was already on a smart plan, you would see it. Tasks, self-explanatory. Any tasks associated with this contact would appear here, and you can even create an additional one here as well. Notes. These are notes that you would have for your contact. You can add notes manually here as well. Saved searches. This is one of my absolute favoriteest things ever. Back in the day, we used to have to go into the MLS portal with your other sign in, right? Your other username and password. You would go into your MLS and you'd have to create a search for your consumer and set them up to receive emails through your MLS portal. Well, now you can do it all through command. You don't have to go into the separate portal of MLS, have your contacts added into it, and create the searches through there. You can do it right here within command. The catch is They need to have created their consumer login either to your KW agent website. If you go look at your KW agent website on the top right-hand corner, you'll notice there's a login or sign up button. That's for a consumer to actually create their own login and personalize their experience on your website. That same login will also work on the KW Consumer mobile app. If you're not familiar with that, please check out our KW Consumer app mobile tutorial overview. It is on our YouTube channel. You can find those class archives where we teach it live once a month, and they can create that consumer login to your app. It gives you Big Brother access, but also allows them to personalize their experience in their search and lets them really collaborate with you and be active in their search. If they have created that consumer login, which is just usually their email and a password, then you can set up a saved search for them and they will receive the emails. If you set up a saved search and they don't have that login created, they will get the initial email saying, hey, set up a saved search for you. And then they won't receive any emails after that. Okay. So a saved search, we can come in here and create a saved search. Search by city, zip code, neighborhood, school attendance, and even custom. We could go onto a map and draw an area specifically for us that we want to cover. If it's not, maybe it covers more than one zip code, more than one neighborhood, you can come in here and do a custom. I'm just going to grab zip code just to make it super easy today. We'll go ahead and grab this one, and you can put in price min, price max, certain amenities that they're looking for, property types. I have a lot of different choices. Listing status. They can even see coming soons if you want them to. Bed, bath, year built. The living area. Some more features as well. Maybe you have a tire kicker right within your database. Maybe they just want to go visit open houses right now and they're not quite ready. Well, guess what? You can set them up on a saved search to view the open houses only within their area. What a great way to stay in touch, meet them right where they are, and keep nurturing that contact, right? Then click next. You could name the search right here. Highly recommend going ahead and keeping it being, or keep it the zip code. If I can speak English today, you can make it the zip code right here, just to help you quickly know which search that is. Okay, and the consumer will likely see the title of that saved search as well. So just FYI, don't make it anything funky. And so right here, your name in the email. This email pulls from their primary email location, so you can't edit it here. You would edit it right here on your contact, okay? If you hit create save search right here, they would be able to view this save search when they log into your website or log into your mobile app. They don't have to get the email notifications unless they want to. And right here is where you would do that. And you can set the email frequency either instant, daily, weekly, biweekly, or monthly. Okay, whichever one that they would want, and create that saved search. Okay, it'll be right here again, pencil edit, trash can delete, and you'll see who created them. The consumer can also go and create saved searches on your website or on your app as well. And if you saw a saved search that says created by and it was by that consumer's name, you will not be able to edit and delete. They would have to do that directly through on their side with their login. Okay. All right, so we've reviewed all of that information. We're getting towards the end of class. Let me jump into the edit portion right here, just to show you where these fields are that you can update. You can add relationships. This would automatically let you start typing in a contact's name, and it would populate if you had a contact in your database with that name and you could choose them. You can choose the type of relationship, and there's a ton of options in here so that you could keep everybody showing who is related to who within your database. Primary email, primary phone number. If you scroll on down, lead source, you can select it from this particular list of lead sources that you have, but maybe you know this person because they were referred to you by another person in your database. That's fine. You can select from contacts and come right here, and it would let you begin typing in again if you want to find that particular contact in your database, and it would populate your options based on what you typed in. Again, mark as lead or unmark. You can add tags from right here. You're very familiar now probably with the options of it dropping down, giving us tags to choose from. But if it's not already in here, maybe I just want to pick a tag that's not already in here, you still have the option to create a custom tag from right here within the edit option, okay? Add more information opens additional fields like additional contact information. Preferred method of contact, you can choose that. The do not contact, just FYI, does not do anything to your contact, okay? It just is a visual for you not to contact that person. You would still have the ability to add them to smart plans, add them to campaigns. The system will not stop marketing going to this person. So if you have a DNC number or contact in your command database that you do not want added to any marketing at any shape, form, or size, we highly recommend go ahead and mark it do not contact, but come back up here, grab this primary contact information out of that, and come down here and put it in the additional um, email and the additional phone data. Okay, put it in these fields because smart plans and campaigns will not pull from the additional information. It will only pull from the primary information. I'm going to put it back up there because now our saved searches is panicking because it doesn't have an email to send saved searches to. So let's go ahead and scroll back down. So again, move that information and data down here to the additional fields to make sure that you won't send automated information to them or automated marketing. Coming on down, you can add a primary address. This actually does pull from Google, so it's fairly accurate. And you can choose as you begin typing which ones you want it to be. You can choose that address, adjust it as you need to, and make sure you click same as mailing. If you want to do direct mailer campaign, need to have this checked as mailing address. Okay. Social profiles, you can add them right here if you would like. About fields, birthday, home anniversary, more relationships, even their work, and custom fields. Remember, I was showing you how to add those custom fields in the back. This is where you can add them if they're not a default. These are the ones that are default. You can see we already had favorite pie selected right here. So you can say, well, they want pumpkin, and I can add kids' names, price point, whatever you would like to do at this point. You can add it right here or add custom field. This is where you can access those that are not a default. It'll let you select from the drop down. This shows you all the custom fields you had created back there on the back end, and you can just choose it. You can even remove it if you want to. Okay, hit save if you've made any changes right here. We'll go ahead and hit save so that you can see the adjusted additional information. I'm going to hit refresh just in case. Sometimes it needs an extra refresh when you've made changes in command for you to be able to view it. And if we scroll down now, we'll see that now there's a primary address on file. And also we were able to add the custom field information, which you see appearing down there now as well. Okay. All right, quickly going back to our contacts tab. Out of that contact profile, and from right here, I just want to jump into filters to show them to you really quickly. Here are all the filter options, the basic filter options. This is called your filter drawer, and you can come in here and look for contacts based on a specific tag, a specific contact type. Maybe you're just looking for the ones that are marked lead with that little L. You can look by neighborhood, when they were last active on your app or on your website with their little login, when they were created. There's a lot of different options here, but I want to point out advanced in the top right-hand corner. This lets you get pretty layered with what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for people that have your KW app and have been active in the last 30 days. So there's two different pieces of qualifying filters that we want to add, right? So I can do that right here by agent site connection, which means they've created that consumer login. And I can say the ones that are connected. If you want to come in here and find the ones that need your app, you can choose not connected, and it'll show you the people that need to create that login that don't have it yet. But for this, we'll choose connected, and we'll add our second filter. I can come in here and say recently active. So let's scroll down to that. I'm zoomed in a little too far. Let's fix that. There we go. Recently active from this list. I'll zoom back in for you. And so recently active, longer than, more than 30 days since they've been active, which that might be a great group to reach out to and see why they haven't been active in the last 30 days, just to check on them. But if I want to find who's been active within the last 30 days so that maybe we can go ahead and meet in person and move forward with their search, you can do that right here and hit apply. And it would adjust the contacts you're seeing out here that fit these particular filters. Okay, so you can add as many filters as you would like. Okay, remember, add that smart view after you do all that work. Add that smart view so then you have to do it just as a one-click thing and won't have to keep setting those filters again. Very quickly in our last few minutes here, I just want to show you how to get those contacts imported into Command. Now, if we do partner with your Market Center, we'll be happy to actually help you import your contacts. But if you're looking to do these on your own, you can always click the import file right here, or import button, excuse me, and you'll notice at the top that there's a template that you can download. If you were to download that template, it looks something like this. Actually, this is exactly what it looks like. Let me zoom in here to actually get you to where you can see this better and bigger. Notice that there's two different lines of headers right here. So the spreadsheet looks a little different. It can be a little overwhelming because of how much information it's asking for and the different options. I'm going to go through this with you as quickly as possible in detail, just so that you can actually see what each column is for and what the type of data is that you can add. Okay, you can use this command template to import your information, or you can actually use, and I'm going to minimize this just to go back to the screen and command, you can actually use your own file that is here, and you could browse your files or drag and drop right here to upload. Just know that if you use your own file, it will ask you to map. And that basically means whatever column headers you have on like a custom import sheet. Here's a custom one that we just did. Notice the headers. There's only like one line of headers, and it doesn't have all those different options. There's only just a few, right? It's not that big of a spreadsheet, just a few headers. It's going to want you to map these columns to match its template. Okay, so it'll ask you your first name column, does it match the first name column in our file? For phone numbers, do you want that to go into the phone number field? The email, do you want that to go into primary email field? It'll ask you for each one of those. It'll auto do some that it can read on its own and figure out. But if you have like a weird title in your header or something like that that it can't map on its own, it will ask you to confirm that. So there's just a few extra steps if you use your own custom sheet, but you can still do it. Okay. So if you have your own custom file right here and you want to import, just make sure that your headers are all the way right here in the first row, and make sure you have things spelled out correctly. Like for phone number, you can actually put them all in here. They can be without spaces if you want. They can be with periods if you want. Um, and then also for your address, you're going to want to make sure that you actually include the country and the zip code if you are ever wanting to do things like direct mailers or mailing labels through command. It will want this information on that contact profile. Okay, you can even add tags. Remember when I said this is Excel, it's a CSV file. That means it's comma separated value, and you'll just want to make sure that your tags are separated by a comma and a space. And if you do that, it will make all of those tags on that contact for you as they import into the system. Okay, and if you we just recommend this. You don't have to do this. See how we added import and the date? It's just great to have one common tag that you're putting on all the contacts you're importing at that one time. That way you can always go back. Maybe it didn't import correctly. Maybe you messed up with the mapping. Then you can go back, search for that one tag that all of those contacts will have so that you can archive and delete it or make a mass bulk change if you need to. Okay, so it's just a good idea to have one different tag that is on all of those contacts. You can add source, you can add notes, things like that. That's what a custom import file will look like. If you're actually using the template, I'm just going to click back over there. I know I'm going a couple of seconds over, guys. If you need to go, please do. The recording of this class will actually be up on our YouTube within 24 hours, but you can go there anytime and look at our class archives as well. Okay. And if you need anything, you can always reach us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. So real quick here, this is again what the actual template looks like, the command template that you have the option to download. Again, double header at the top. Don't move or change any of these headers. It's important that they stay the exact same that they are. And you can fill out as many of these fields as you would like to, but a first name is required. If you don't have a first name, you'll notice if we reformat them for you, we just put the word neighbor there as their first name as a placeholder, so it will import. You have options to add prefixes, suffixes, full legal name if you want. There's an about column. Birth dates and home anniversaries are right here. There are different ways that these will accept. It will actually accept the date and the way that a phone number goes in. If you have any questions about that, you can let us know. But right here, it will take this particular format for a date. And over here under phone number as well, notice that we have the option to upload several different phone numbers for each contact: cell phone, home phone, work phone, and other phone. But notice the column to the right. It's asking, is that primary? You will want to put a capital Y beside which phone number is the primary. It needs this. It will not import correctly if it doesn't have this. So you would just put a capital Y in one of the columns beside the phone number that is their primary. Notice we don't have it by the home phone because we want the cell phone to be primary. If we slide over to the right some more, then it's asking for emails. And you'll also notice those primary columns are right here. It wants to know the primary email that you'll be importing. You just put that capital Y in the column beside the email that is their primary that you want to be used. That is the one that automated marketing will go out to when you set things up in your command, like smart plans, campaigns, things like that. Over to the right, you will start seeing addresses. The first field is for the primary address. It is address line 1 to city, state, zip code, country, and then a label. You will need that label in order for it to import correctly, and you can choose from one of the 4 that is listed right here. One of the 5, excuse me, can't count today. Homework, rental, vacation, or other. We've put home as the label for that, and then it's asking, is it a mailing address? Go ahead and put a Y if it is. Maybe their other address, which is their work address, which we've listed over here to the right. Maybe it's their mailing address instead. Well, you'll notice that same column is right here. So by one of the addresses, you will want that capital Y in that column so that they know which is the mailing address. Okay, otherwise it has to be manually adjusted after you import, and that can be a little labor intensive if you're working with a large database. Further over to the right, there's another option for another address, a third address. We'll keep going. And after that, you will notice that you have the option to add tags. You can add as many tags as you want, just separate them with a comma and a space. You can add the source as well, and you can add notes and even social media profiles. That gives you several options for that as well. Okay, and those are things that would go on your template for your import, whatever you would like to put on there. Once you have your file ready, you can import it right here by dragging and dropping or browsing on your computer, your device. It does give you a few rules to remember in your import, and there's more information that you can learn down here with the hyperlink at the bottom. If you click continue, if we were to put a file there, again, it's going to show you a preview of your information, showing you if it's mapping the columns correctly. You'll just want to look over it very quickly, make sure that the phone numbers aren't, mapping to the name or something like that. And then you continue. It may take a few minutes depending on how big the file was, but you can come up here and click the refresh button and you should begin to see those contacts populate within your command database. And that is it for today's class, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. We went 5 minutes over, but I hope it was valuable information for you. Again, if you're here with me live and you have any questions, please put those in the live chat. I'm going to stay a couple of minutes just to get those answers for you. If you're watching this back on replay and you have any questions, you can reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. Thanks for watching.